A colleague of mine was killed in Kabul, Afghanistan from a suicide bombing, reminding us that evil lives around the world. There has been over 10,000 drug overdose deaths, and 24 law enforcement heroes have been killed in service to this great country. The most recent losses of Deputy Chief State Fire Marshal Sandra Cohen, along with FBI Supervisory Special Agent Carlos Wolf in Rockville, Maryland, and of Officer Kenneth Copeland, San Marcos Police Department, Texas. These remind us that our primary mission is always to protect life. This will never change for you and I. Although these crimes offend our values and everything that we stand for, they define our resolve. As first responders, we will always run to the fight. Dr. Martin Luther King said the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. For you and I, what we have seen cannot be unseen. There are so many victims and so many damaged families. They require and they expect that we operate every day at our very best. We know that these numbers can be overwhelming for the faint of heart. However, although professionalism, dedication, and perseverance to service for many are just words, for you and me, these words describe our fabric. In fact, they're part of our DNA. It is the relationships developed here that strengthen our skills to face the many evils that threaten our communities. There is no greater calling than this honorable profession, that of a law enforcement officer. However, although this is our calling to serve, we must always remember our families. It is from their support we achieve success. We know that the last 11 weeks have not been easy for you. Please know that we have shared many loving conversations about families from sports to school. In fact, Rich Bilikowski's wife had a baby boy this past Saturday. Eric Hill learned that his wife is due in April with a baby boy. However, we also shared the loss of 2 mothers and a grandmother. Ken Murray, Al Chandler, Eduardo Martinez, know that you always remain in our thoughts and prayers. Our prayers continue for Unit Chief Jeff McCormick and his wife. Jeff continued to lead this session while supporting his wife, his beautiful wife, who is undergoing cancer treatment. 270 represents hundreds of families who have sacrificed more than we will ever know while always cheering us on. I can tell you that during many of the challenges, I focused on the faces of my family to get me through. Today, we celebrate our parents, our spouses, and our children. You see, although this is a chapter for you and I, our families are the ones who kept the lights on and continue to ensure that life's challenges were faced and met. Because of them, we are the lucky few who can say every day, we live our dream. Dave Willis said family isn't defined only by last names or by blood, it's defined by commitment and by love. It means having each other's backs. It means choosing to love each other, even on those days when you struggle to like each other. It means never giving up on each other. This became 270's ethos as we live this message every day in the classroom, the challenges, and on the yellow brick road. My parents taught me that true empathy requires that you step outside of your own emotions to view things entirely from the perspective of the other person. We're all blessed to have a loving support system. Never forget and make no mistake. For you and I, this is exactly where we were always supposed to be. Our spouses and children had no choice. Today and every day, we should celebrate their unselfish devotion, and we commit to them that we will never miss an opportunity to tell them that we love them. I encourage you to spoil your cheering team at every chance. As it has been said, what we do in life echoes in eternity. Continue to honor your faith, your family, and yourself. Coach Saban said it the best: every day, every play, the right way. And 270 issues a warning to evil. Run and hide if you must, but don't get comfortable. 270 is our family, and we never give up. May God continue to bless each of you and empower you with the confidence and belief that every day you make a difference. Thank you for your service, and I salute you for your dedication and courage.
So, Director Ray, as the Assistant Director of your Training Division, I certify to you that all present members of National Academy Session 270 have met or exceeded all requirements for graduation. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming the Director of the FBI.
Thanks, Dave. You know, the 269th may have been the first National Academy class that I actually met with, but this class, the 270th, is my first National Academy graduation, and for that reason, I particularly enjoyed all of our conversations last week, so I'm really excited to be here and glad to see you all today. I'd like to extend a special welcome to President Trump and Attorney General Sessions, both of whom we'll hear from in a moment. And I want to thank the families here today. Everybody in this room knows firsthand that our families are the support system that makes law enforcement work. You help us make it through every day, and you're waiting for us when we come home every night. So thank you for being here, and thank you for all the sacrifices and support that you've brought. You know, in 1935, when the FBI Police Training School opened its doors to its first 23 students, I'm not sure anyone imagined we'd all be here all these years later watching our 270th graduation. You came to Quantico 10, almost 11 weeks ago as strangers, but you leave today as lifelong friends. And those friendships mean that you can pick up the phone day or night, anywhere around the world, and find someone who will stand beside you in the toughest of circumstances or provide some insight that you might not have considered. And forging those friendships, those partnerships, is what the National Academy does best. As the world becomes smaller and the perils loom larger, we've learned that a threat to one of us can be a threat to all of us. We've learned that working together isn't just the best option, it's really the only option. And for more than 80 years, this program has served as a bridge between state and local law enforcement and international law enforcement. And today, you join the ranks of more than 50,000 graduates from more than 170 countries. To put that in perspective, there are more than 50,000 of those yellow bricks on desks and bookcases all around the world. More than 50,000 bricks that have helped pave the way for global law enforcement cooperation. That cooperation begins here, but it can't end here. Your bricks don't just represent a challenge, they are a challenge to build on this foundation after you leave the academy, a challenge to stay in touch and to continue helping each other throughout your careers. So this session is ending, but the work is far from done. It's up to you to ensure that the network that you see in this auditorium grows larger and stronger, and that yellow brick road grows longer and wider. Your jobs aren't easy, but today you have more than 200 new partners standing by, ready to help you in any way they can. And that bond of trust and teamwork represents the best of who we are and what we can accomplish when we work together. According to the FBI history books, it's been quite a while since we hosted a president for a National Academy graduation. In 1957, President Eisenhower addressed the 60th session. And 5 years later, in October of 1962, President Kennedy delivered remarks at the graduation of the 70th. And last, President Nixon spoke at the graduations of both the 83rd session in 1969, which was actually held in the East Room of the White House, and the 87th session in 1971. So after a 46-year hiatus, it is a great honor to welcome a president back to the National Academy. As I was saying to you backstage, Mr. President, the National Academy is one of the FBI's crown jewels. You know, in February, President Trump addressed the Major County Sheriff's Association and called for a great national partnership, a new beginning between law enforcement and the citizens we serve. And by joining us today, he is renewing that call. Mr. President, there is no better place to talk about the importance of partnerships than here at the National Academy, surrounded by some of the finest law enforcement leaders from here at home and around the world. And to the outstanding graduates of the 270th, thank you again for being part of the National Academy, for your support of the FBI, and for all you do and all you will do for law enforcement. And now, to introduce the President, please join me in welcoming my friend, the Attorney General of the United States, Jeff Sessions.
Thank you, Chris, and for that introduction and for inviting us to this fabulous academy. The American people appreciate what you do. The American people have always supported law enforcement, and this is a special occasion indeed for these graduates and your families. I have the honor to introduce someone who supports law enforcement officers just as he promised 100%. Donald Trump ran for office as a law and order candidate. I believe that is one of the biggest reasons he won. The American people spoke loud and clear. They want to restore the rule of law, and they want to be safe. Now he is governing as a law and order president. He is fulfilling his campaign promises, and he's delivering results for the American people. The day I was sworn in as Attorney General, he sent us an order. Got to know he knows how to send a clear order. The order was reduce crime in America. Not preside over increasing crime in America, but to reduce it. We embrace that goal, as I know you do, and we are doing that with the indispensable help of our state and local law enforcement partnerships like those represented by these outstanding officers here today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our nation's highest law enforcement official, the President of the United States.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much, everybody. That's a lot of years since the last president. And we'll be back. And thank you to Attorney General Sessions. Thank you, Director Wray, Assistant Director Resch, for hosting me here at the FBI National Academy to address our wonderful local police and sheriffs from all over America. Very special honor. And it's an honor to stand here today with the incredible men and women of law enforcement. Thank you. We're here to celebrate your graduation from the National Academy at Quantico. For over 80 years, this rigorous and world-renowned program has trained America's most dedicated local law enforcement officers from all across the country, so respected. Let me begin by saying to each member of the graduating class, congratulations. You left home for 11 weeks to enroll in this program because you love your jobs, you love your communities, and you love your country. Earlier this week, you completed the harrowing 6-mile yellow brick road. Just signed that beautiful brick. I just signed that brick. Designed for the Marines to push even the toughest to their limit. You endured muddy waters, barbed wire fences, icy creeks, steep hills, and so much more, knowing that your elite training will help save lives. The training you received at Quantico will give you that extra edge you need to defuse a threat, to disarm a criminal, and to deliver a child safely to her mother's arms. I am here not only to congratulate you, but to honor you for your courage and for your devotion. And I want you to know that with me as your president, America's police will have a true friend and loyal champion in the White House, more loyal than anyone else can be. I tell you. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to take a moment to speak to all of the law enforcement families here today. You make tremendous sacrifices. American families can sleep soundly at night because of the burden that you carry for all of us. So on behalf of all Americans, to every law enforcement family here today and all across the nation, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And you do that under the most difficult conditions. You very rarely get the recognition you deserve, I can tell you that. But your families know what you deserve. And ultimately, that's the most important thing, isn't it? It's not a news story when our officers save a life, rescue a family, or stop a crime. It's just another day on the job. Yet no matter the circumstances, you serve tirelessly, selflessly, and heroically. You do it because you really believe in doing your duty and doing it properly. Being a police officer is not just a career, it's a calling, and I've seen it. I have so many friends that are police officers, so many people in the FBI.